This video is supported by patrons like you. If you'd like to become a patron, please head over to patreon.com/Matt Jarbo. It's no secret that the Star Wars franchise right now is in a mixed place. Some people are happy with it, some people aren't happy with it, and there's a lot of people that are just conflicted, not ready to go to the light side or the dark side, depending on where this last movie ultimately goes. Good or bad, it will decide the fate of Disney Star Wars. But one thing that we're hearing today that I did want to address, I did want to touch upon, is this particular story surrounding Kylo Ren and potentially what Disney has in store for him past this final film. And if you've looked at any of the leaks, you kind of know what's potentially going to happen. You kind of think that some stuff is going to go down and that it's maybe, and I don't know how for sure this is, how certain this is, but they've always been kind of tempting towards a redemption arc, right? And I think that's going to happen. I really do think that's going to happen. I don't know for certain. And with that happening, or potentially happening, Disney obviously hates a villain, doesn't want to see a villain be a villain forever, and they're going to want to make sure that the villain ends up, well, having his day. And that, of course, brings us to this We Got This Covered story saying Lucasfilm is developing Kylo Ren prequel with Adam Driver. Now, I know what you're thinking, Matt, why the hell are you reading We Got This Covered? This is not a legitimate news website. So much so that even Star Wars Leaks, the subreddit where a lot of the stuff is coming out of, has banned We Got This Covered. Well, I normally wouldn't talk about this because I did see this a couple days ago when the article dropped, but Star Wars Theory brought it up today in a video, and I felt compelled to give my take on it because if he's legitimizing it, then a lot of people out there are going to believe that this is legitimately happening, and none of them are going to probably know, or I should say not a lot of them are going to know just how shady We Got This Covered is. So let's break it down. All right, so here's what they say. Closer to Christmas, we finally get to lay our eyes on episode 9, and it seems that Disney's working on several tie-in comics to help heighten the anticipation ahead of December 20th. One of them is The Rise of Kylo Ren, which will dive into the hazy origins of Adam Driver's Dark Prince. But for fans of the character, the good news doesn't end there. Lucasfilm still has big plans for him going forward. So here's The Rise of Kylo Ren, and this is one of the reasons why I kind of think that there's potential that this could be somewhat legit. I hate to give them any credit, but this is the Wikipedia page for The Rise of Kylo Ren, where they say that it is an upcoming canon comic book miniseries. The story will explore the backstory of Kylo Ren and the Knights of Ren. The 4-part series will begin on December 18th, 2019. So it comes out the day before people can go and see Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker. Although I'm pretty sure if it's going to be international, they'll probably already be able to see it internationally. So we know that that's a thing. And this is part of the cover of the comic book showing a young Kylo and a slightly younger Luke Skywalker, and they are battling the Knights of Ren. And one of them, the one on the top there above Luke, has a red lightsaber. So someone asked the question, are they coming from Snoke? We don't know much about them yet. So that's why this is potentially interesting. So jumping back over to the article here, it goes on to say that according to sources close to We Got This Covered, the same ones who told us about Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan return back in May, along with the special connection Palpatine and Rey share in Rise, which has since been confirmed, hasn't really been confirmed yet. We don't know that yet. So you have to take that with a grain of salt. We don't know until we've seen the movie. Just want to make that clear. Lucasfilm is planning some sort of Kylo Ren prequel, and Driver is reportedly involved. It's unclear if it will be a movie or a Disney Plus show, and is only in the early stages of development right now, but they apparently hope to explore Ben Solo's younger days and take a look at what made him into the villain we saw in the Star Wars trilogy, in the sequel trilogy. And, you know, the truth of the matter is they kind of need to do that. They really do. Kylo has an interesting backstory. People resonate with him, but we don't have much to go on. And so I do kind of hope they do pull it out. Anyway, details beyond that remain unclear. And with everything else they've got on their plate right now, we imagine it will be a while before this project gets off the ground. There's also a chance it could go into a different direction and to morph into something else entirely. After all, look at how the Obi-Wan movie ended up as a TV show, and the Boba Fett film was outright canceled. And yeah, no, they're right. They are right. The Obi-Wan show, or the Obi-Wan movie we heard about, turned into a TV show that apparently Ewan McGregor sat on for 4 years. The Boba Fett movie, which was announced the day before Solo was released, being directed by James Mangold, ended up getting outright canceled. Things are, in fact, subject to change. But when you think of the character of Kylo Ren, when you think of this character, I mean, do you really want to see a backstory? Do you really want there to have that mystery revealed? And I don't know about you, but I do. I do for a couple of different reasons. And we'll talk about that here in a second. But when I think about how this will come to be, when I think about the other rumblings at Lucasfilm and Disney in regards to Star Wars, one thing comes to mind that I think would be a perfect fit. And that is Marvel Studios head Kevin Feige is developing a Star Wars film for Disney. Now, we learned about this a month ago. And while the article does go on to say that Feige is developing a Star Wars film for Lucasfilm, details about the project are currently unknown. And that is true. We don't know what's going on, but it feels like Disney has a problem, and that's a marketing problem. They can't sell entry really into Galaxy's Edge, and they're having a lot of trouble marketing the park to people. And I think I know why, and I've talked about this before. It's all about the First Order, or the lack of care for the First Order. The First Order is clearly not the Empire, which is exactly what it's modeled after. If you've read the Chuck Wendig novels, you know that the Empire, after fleeing Jakku, after they failed in the Battle of Jakku, went to the unknown regions and ultimately started the First Order out there, and then made their way back in to take on the Republic. All of that information we don't know in the movies. And most importantly, Snoke. Snoke is the biggest damn mystery so far out of this trilogy, because who is he? How is he important to Kylo? What's his backstory? And I have a feeling we're going to get to know that as everything goes on, as the series or as the comic probably expands, and as the movies finish up. Maybe we'll get some more information about Snoke. And again, I've heard rumors that they want to that they're teasing something with bringing him back. That I've heard that. Again, I see a lot of websites that are like taking what We Got This Covered says and treating it as if it's a verifiable rumor. And the only reason why I'm bringing it up is just because Star Wars Theory brought this up first. And I just wanted to give my take on it, because part of me thinks it could be legit. Part of me thinks that there is a valid, thing here that Disney wants to work on, especially trying to find a way to continue to sell the First Order. Because after this movie, it's done. After this movie, the First Order's done. That means we got 3 movies with the First Order in the span of 4 years. And they never really took hold, merchandise-wise. It never really did. No one really cared. People cared about the Empire because the Empire had history. But no one really cared about this. So as a result of that, they cannot market the way that they want to, and I think that's ultimately the bigger problem here. So we'll have to wait and see whether or not We Got This Covered is right. But I think given how much work Kevin Feige is putting into Disney Plus, I would say that because we're a few years away from another Star Wars trilogy, giving us Star Wars television shows is going to be what Disney focuses on, and giving us a few episode limited series about the rise of Kylo Ren would be a good way at finally filling in some of the gaps that were clearly left on the cutting room floor during Rian Johnson's The Last Jedi. Anyway, your thoughts, your opinions, let me know down in the comments below. Please be sure to thumbs up the video and subscribe and all that jazz. And thank you to everyone who's supporting on Patreon. I really appreciate it. I'll talk to you all later. Have yourself a great day, and peace out.